courtroom is now in session. Please take your seats. The issue being argued today is whether or not one of these men is a minor. We have Mr. Smith here from the nation of Oceania, and we have Macbeth from Scotland.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, now we have to keep in mind that my client Macbeth was from a very different time period than Winston, and in his time period, murder wasn't really that big of a crime. I mean, people killed people every day in that time period. They were at war, for Christ's sake. And so, with the different societies, the rules weren't as outlined, so he didn't really know he was doing any evil. But I mean, Winston, on the other hand, he knew exactly what he was doing. The thought crime rules were elaborately lined out. And he, not only did Macbeth only kill people who opposed him, Winston thought about killing people who loved him. First of all, we have his wife, Catherine, and I believe it's on page 124 that he said that when asked why he didn't shove his wife off of a cliff, he said, and I quote, "I would if I'd been the same person then I am now." He would in fact have killed his wife today if he had had the chance again. Additionally, onto Julia, who he claimed to adore and love. He said later on page 261, he said, do it to Julia, not me. Julia, I don't care what you do to her. Tear her face off, strip her to the bones. Not me, Julia, not me. That doesn't sound like...
Stop. Order.
Being interrupted, I see. That doesn't sound saintly, now does it? No, see, Winston committed thought crimes, okay? He committed thought murder, which is way worse, seeing as it was clearly outlined in society that was wrong. Additionally, onto his relationships. Goodness, now that's a story. So, first of all, when describing what he wanted to do to Julia, on page 17, I believe, he said he would, quote, flog her to death with a rubber truncheon, tie her naked to a stake, and shoot her full of arrows. Why would you say that?
Stop. Order.
And, as to why he wanted to perform this hideous task, his only answer was because he hated her because he wanted to go to bed with her and he never would. Now, that doesn't really sound like a good start to a loving relationship.
No, it does. I would never. Order in the court.
Doesn't really sound like a healthy relationship either. Now, my client, on the other hand, had a great relationship with his wife.
Yes,
Very
I did.
Order in the court! Very healthy. Winston says himself that thought crime is the worst, and he committed thought murder and thought possible sexual assault. My client, on the other hand, really wasn't that bad for his time. And now, I would actually like to ask Winston a few questions. Right, and better yet, why did you want Julia to die in your place? Surely, if you were as saintly as your team wants us to believe, you wouldn't want a woman you love to die for you.
Have you ever been in a room that is designed especially for your biggest fear? Have you ever had your body so severely damaged and deprived of life? Look at my fingers and tell me what you see. 4. No! They told me it was 5. Down with my brother!
All right, that's enough. My client is not the meaner man, especially compared to Macbeth. Whose cruelty, killings, is driven by unchecked ambition and willingness to destroy anyone in the way, no matter who they are. Winston, pressured and broken by totalitarian government, never chooses physical violence. Instead, he quietly seeks the truth, admitting if there is hope, it lies in the proles. He desires freedom, not harm. Macbeth, however, openly embraces violence, confessing that he is prepared to do bloody instructions, which being taught return to the plague thy inventor. Unlike Winston, who is tortured in betrayal, Macbeth chooses murder, willingly declaring, I'm settled and bent up. Each corporal agent is terrible feat, referring to killing Duncan in cold blood. And Macbeth's cruelty does not stop there. He later plots the murder of his loyal friend Banquo, simply because, as he admits, after his and Banquo's boast, I am blood-stabbed so far, showing he continues murdering by choice. The contrast is undeniable. Winston is a victim of oppression, while Macbeth is the creator of his own brutality. And seeing as my defendant was questioned, I feel it is only right to return the favour. Okay. Well, is it true you killed Banquo? I object.
Sustained.
A kind, humble man who was a close friend for years.
I plead the fifth.
All right. Well, I don't know about you, but those both sounded like confessions to me. Macbeth is a murderer. He must be the meanest.
You both have made convincing arguments, but do either of you have the witness?
First up, Julia, please share your experience with this man.
Well, unfortunately, I was once attracted to this man. My former, unreformed self believed in love, and I was in love with Winston. Now I know that is foolish. Our little affair began with a stupid letter. It said, I love you, in all caps, by the way. From then on, if my memory serves me right, we had relations for the rest of the year. We met in the small room near the proles, yet once we got caught, from what I hear, he was quick to betray me after we received consequences for our transgressions from the Ministry of Love. This man has a fear of rats, which is embarrassing considering he's 39 years old. Grown man. By the way, he believed I should take his punishment, dying a slow and agonizing death of tiny little rat bites, rather than taking responsibility for his crimes. He made me realize that my heart should only belong to my leader.
So he wanted you to suffer the punishment? How mean. But you're not the only one who he wanted to die to make his life easier, are you? Please welcome to the bench his wife. Now, tell me, what happened with you two, and why did he want you dead?
Well, me and Winston were married for just a little while, thank God. Every so often, we would have to do our duty to the party, and of course I would stiffen because it didn't feel right. I knew he resented me for it, but he would never actually straight up tell me. From what I knew about his filthy little diary, he even went out as far as buying love. And the worst part of it all is when we were on this hike and we fell behind this crowd, I was so worried about Big Brother looking down on me, but Winston wanted me to point out who knows what at me. His hands almost looked like they wanted to push me, myself, off of a cliff. That was when I knew this man was way too dangerous for his own good.
So this man wanted his wife and his lover dead? A man who spurns love is surely meaner than a man who was so devoted to his wife. My client was willing to kill for his wife. Winston, on the other hand, was jumping at the chance to kill his. Thank you for your time. But what about his colleagues or his friends? Now for our final witness who really knew him. He observed him for years and he knows the depths of this man's evil. Please welcome Mr. O'Brien.
Yes, I have observed this man for years. He is not a normal party member. He is committed thought crime. But I persevere knowing that at the Ministry of Love, we do not merely destroy our enemies, we change them. And that is exactly what I did. I created the illusion of brotherhood, even went as far as writing my own book of nonsense. This man swore to me that he would do anything, promising me to throw sulfuric acid in a child's face and even commit acts of sabotage which may cause the death of hundreds of innocent people. This sounds to me like Winston is not as good as he claims to be.
I think we now have substantial evidence to convict Winston as the meaner one. I mean, there is nothing our opponent could say that could win them the case.
Sit down, ladies and gentlemen. You've been listening to her talk, but the actions describing aren't me. We can show you me. Now, finding witnesses was quite difficult, seeing as most of them are dead. I feel like that says enough. But nevertheless, these souls were so infuriated with Macbeth's evil actions that they came back just to testify. Our witness in the land of the living is Macduff.
You don't have anything.
I wasn't finished. From beyond the grave, please welcome Lady Macbeth, Banquo.
What? You see that too, right?
Yes. Anyways, proceed.
Oh, he's back. First up is Macduff, a man who knows well of the tortures and cruel acts of Macbeth.
Macbeth, he went on a murderous rampage. He killed our King Duncan. He killed his best friend Banquo. He killed my wife and son. He forcefully took the throne. He drove our land into ruin with his paranoia and tyranny. He killed my family!
Well, that is inexcusable. And in a moment, we're going to hear one more topic with our witness, his one and only wife, Lady Macbeth.
Hi. Yes. Spots.
So, are you going to tell us what happened, or?
Oh, Spots. Well, yes, he killed him.
He killed them?
But he felt guilty about it, so.
That doesn't matter.
It's not illegal.
The fact that we're dealing with real murder versus imaginary murder, I feel like it's clear who the meaner is here.
Spots.
But in a case of witness doesn't convince you, let's talk to the victims themselves, shall we? Banquo.
This man has been my friend for years. We worked side by side in combat, winning many battles together. Yet one day these witches came and promised he would be the Thane of Glamis, Thane of Cawdor, and King of Scotland. All of a sudden he's the Thane of Cawdor, and our beloved king is killed. All these events began, and I knew it was not due to chance. When I put the pieces together, I was murdered in front of my son. God, you're ruining my life.
Now, after all these tales of horrific acts, it seems clear we must convict Macbeth of being the meaner man.
Now, settle down. I would like the final statement from Macbeth and Winston, and then the jury will decide. Winston, you may begin.
Thank you. I would like you all to picture what it is like in my shoes. A land with no freedom. Macbeth had freedom when he decided to murder King Duncan and hire killers to murder from what I hear was his best friend. Macbeth is a heartless, cruel man who desires nothing but power, and he uses that power for nothing good. I, on the other hand, desire the power to live my own life. I used the power to live with feelings for as much time as I could possibly savor. Me and Julia lived in our own little world, like this coral paperweight I used to own. Our relationship was fixed in a sort of eternity at the heart of the crystal. Our love itself was an act of rebellion. We harmed no one, unlike Macbeth. We wanted to feel human connection in a place where that cannot exist. I chose truth, connection, and hope. Macbeth only chose destruction. I stand before you today asking you to reconsider your definition of mean. Is it mean to do selfish acts that provide me with more feeling than I've ever felt before? I do not believe so.
Well said. Macbeth, Macbeth, your response?
Listen up, everyone. Listen, I've done many wrong things, yes, and I've made some mistakes, but I never wanted to hurt the people that I loved. Just to save myself or get what I wanted. My wife and my friends mattered to me, even when I messed up or even made the wrong choices. Winston is different. He screams, "Do it to Julia, not me, tear her face off," and even imagines hurting her in horrible ways, all just to protect himself. He would hurt the people who care about him, and that shows a cruelty that I could never reach. I may have spilled blood to gain power, but Winston's heart enjoys thinking about hurting people, hurting innocent people. So when you decide who is the meaner, think carefully. My actions came from ambition and circumstance, but Winston's came from thoughts, wishes would show much darker and colder sort of meanness. The meaner man is him, not me.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. The jury will decide your fate, but it seems in this trial we are caught between real and imaginary acts of violence and determining which is mean. Otherwise, the jury has decided your fate today. The man deemed the meaner man is Macbeth!
What?
The jury decided that your crimes were much meaner and more inexcusable in comparison to Winston. You killed Duncan, the king you swore to protect and be loyal to. You killed Banquo, your best friend. Winston has killed no one. His only crime was wanting to exercise his potential freedom. He exercised restraint in his violence. You acted out of ambition and desire for power, not out of fear for survival. You chose murder again and again, fully aware of the consequences. As you said yourself, I am settled and bent up each criminal agent to this terrible feat. You didn't hesitate. You didn't struggle under a system trying to control you. You actively decided to harm those around you to get what you wanted. Even when faced with the guilt of your actions, you continued to plan more murders. You admitted, I am in blood stepped in so far, that should I wait no more, returning were as tedious as go after.
You are very aware that your curse is called self-harm, yet you carry on. That is the difference. Winston, by contrast, lived in a world where every choice was monitored, every thought punished. His betrayals came under extreme question. His system designed to crush him. He never chose murder. He never harmed anyone intentionally. He fought to preserve his humanity and love in a society that tried to destroy it. This court finds that the greater cruelty, the greater meanness lies with Macbeth, a man who had freedom yet repeatedly chose violence and betrayal to satisfy his ambition. Case closed. Winston, you are free to go.
No!